doing, you good looking sons of bitches? Welcome to 2024. Y'all get anything cool for the bike? Yeah, I'm in the truck today. I've got a couple running around to do because I got something cool for the bike, but I started trying to put it on and realized I didn't have all the tools I needed to put said cool thing on the bike. I tried to upload a short of the fail because two reasons. Number one, I didn't have a long enough T45 to remove the mount for my passenger foot boards, or my passenger foot peg mounts. So I have to go and get that. Amazon was supposed to deliver that yesterday, and somehow that got lost in translation or something. I don't know what Amazon does. I mean, as convenient as it is when they lose stuff or break stuff, it's a pain in my ass. So I got to run over towards, I got a couple running around to do today, so I figured instead of doing this from either the garage or the RV, I'll do this from the truck if the audio turns out decent. I'm going to do a How to Sturgis series, I think. So I've learned a lot. Yes, I've only gone once. I've been in the area. I've learned a lot from reading and watching other people, like namely the Professional Monkey and a few others. If you don't subscribe to his channel, you should. He's an old pro at this. The first video I was going to do, words are hard. Words are hard, guys. The first video I was going to do was going to be budget, but I think you can't really do budget until you know how you're going to stay. So for the most part, you've got three fundamental places that you're going to stay. You're either going to hotel it, you're either going to tent or RV, you're either going to do campground tenting, or you're going to Airbnb or Virgo it. Those, of course, are newer options, where you're basically renting a room, a house, a room or a whole house in somebody's house. You're going to pay. I would, if you're just getting a bed, yeah, you might, or like if it's a spare bedroom, yeah, it might only be a couple hundred, $100 a night. But I mean, if you're renting a whole house, if you told me it was $4 or $5 grand, I'd believe it. And some really nice houses, yeah, it could be significantly more than that. Bunker biker, I mean, yeah, it's possible you might be able to find something there, but at this point, I don't know if I'd rely on it. So the biggest thing that most people are going to do are either going to be getting a hotel room or staying in a campground somehow. Hotels, you'll find hotels everywhere. You'll find them anywhere from, I don't think I've ever seen somebody turn left here before. You'll find them anywhere from the town of Sturgis, Rapid, Spearfish, Deadwood, Hill City, Keystone. They're everywhere. The city of Sturgis, expect to pay 3 to 4 times what the room is worth. I haven't looked. I might take a peek just for whats and giggles on like Wyndham or Motel 6 or some of those, at what the rates of some of the more budget style hotels are in the city of Sturgis. But if you told me a Motel 6 during the peak of the rally was $300 to $400 a night, yeah, I'd believe it. If you stay at like a Hampton Inn, easily could be $500 a night. And I would not be surprised, I don't know this for a fact, but if they have additional per person fees on there, let's say you get a 2-bed room, if you told me that they charge you an extra, say, $25 or $50 a night per extra person, yet again, I'd believe it. the further away you stay from the city, the town of Sturgis, I don't know if it's a town or a city, doesn't matter. But the further away you are from Sturgis proper, the cheaper it's going to be. Rapid, it's a big, well, I mean, it's 50, 60, 70,000 people. So for that part of the country, yeah, that's a big city. You know, it's going to have way more options to stay. You're going to find your bigger chains will have multiple properties. You'll find larger, fancier hotels. Like, I mean, I'm sure they've got a Holiday Inn and a Best Western and all that stuff in the town of in Rapid City. And like I said, the further away you get, the cheaper it'll be. I mean, if you're there to just ride, I wouldn't stay in Sturgis. I probably wouldn't stay in Rapid or anywhere there. I'd probably, if you're just there to lay down the miles and ride, why not stay possibly as far away as Sundance or even Gillette, Wyoming? Yeah, you'll have 60 to 70 miles into the town of Sturgis, and probably 100 to get to Rapid the day you want to do the vendor park, if you do want to do the vendor park, because let's face it, there's all sorts of cool stuff that you can get for the bike and installed for free to even cheap, like slip-ons, air cleaners, stuff like that. It's generally free. Last year I bought a teardrop from S&S and they put it on for free. Slip-ons are generally going to be free. Advent Black was mounting up their stuff for free. So yeah, I mean, you can find cheap and even cheap to even free installation on a lot of stuff in the vendor parks. So yeah, like I said, the further away you stay from Sturgis, the cheaper it'll be. Just realize, I know the bus doesn't go to Rapid. They do go to Deadwood. They do go to Spearfish. I don't think they go to Hill City or Keystone. The downside there is, like, if you go to the Buffalo Chip or one of the bars downtown, you're on your own to get back to where you're staying at. If you're not in either Sturgis, Deadwood, or Spearfish. I don't believe there are Ubers. Now, that could have changed a few years ago. That I know there weren't. But so I would not rely on there being Uber. So if you're going to stay and get liquored up, you need to plan on how you're going to get back. Either that or just plan on crashing at said campground. If you have a friend that's staying at a campground, it might not be a bad idea that one night. If you either see if he's got an RV, does he got a spare bed? If he's got a tent, can he accommodate an extra person? Stuff like that. Just realize you're on your own for transportation, aside from getting from Sturgis to Spearfish, Deadwood, and then around the campgrounds that are in the immediate area. Campgrounds. You have a bunch of options. The big one, of course, is the Buffalo Chip. That is where all the major concerts are. That is where they have all sorts of stuff out front. They have free access to a good amount of stuff. Like, you can go to the Big Engine Bar, that's free. They've got tattoo parlors. They've got vendors out in front. They have relatively cheap beer and food out in front. Like, I think last year they were selling, you can get a Miller Lite for like $2.50 at the Big Engine for like $2.50, $3. And you can get a hot dog for like $1.50. So decently cheap food. Yeah, not fancy, but not bad either. Once you go beyond the legendary Chip Gate, that's where you have to have campground access. If you're going to go see a show, you have to have campground access. The cheapest way to get access is to just buy a whole rally pass. It's good for the entire length of the rally. And they do have varying lengths. They have a 5-day pass, they have a 7-day pass, and then they have actually I think it's a 7-day, a 9-day, and then they have a 2-week pass. I get the 9-day because, you know, the 7-day doesn't start till Monday. The 9-day starts the Friday before, which is the actual kickoff event. Last year's Easy Top Open. So if you're going to be going to more than 2 concerts, it makes more sense, in my opinion, to just get the rally pass and be done with it. Right now, the extended rally pass is $4.25, and the chip this year has been aggressive in raising their prices. I mean, they went on sale the beginning of September, middle of September, and the extended pass I think was right around $300. I was ready to book towards the end of October, and they had already gone up to $375. Now the extended rally pass is up to $4.5, and I would not be surprised if by the time March, February gets here, that they are possibly as high as $500 or even more than that. So if you're going to go, if you're going to want to go to the concert at the Chip, and they'll have all sorts of acts. So far, Jelly Roll's been announced, Aaron Lewis is going to be there, Kid Rock's going to be there, and Travis Tritt is going to be there. Those are the 4 headliners that have so far been announced. There will be more. Skinner's played there a bunch. Last year's Easy Top opened the rally. Limp Bizkit was there last year. Styx and REO Speedwagon was there last year. Like I said, there'll be all sorts of music, everything from 80s radio rock to country to rap. A couple years ago, Ice-T was there, excuse me. So yeah, there'll be all sorts of types of music there. You can buy a day pass right now. A day pass is $105. They also have preset 72-hour passes that are, I think, $190. So if there's 2 acts you want to see in a 72-hour period, or even better, all 3, buy the 3-day pass and be done with it. But to me, it just makes sense to have the pass for the entire length of the rally. That way you can go there anytime you want. You can go to Bikini Beach, you can go to the amphitheater, you can go do pretty much everything that the Chip has to offer. Other major campgrounds in there, Glencoe is the out-of-control, wild and crazy party place. Glencoe does have full hookups if you're an RVer at some of their sites. The Buffalo Chip does not. The Buffalo Chip is power and water. Glencoe has some full hookup sites. There may even be some still available. Check their websites if you want to look. Other campgrounds that have good reputations. The next one I'm going to say is the one I'm staying at, and that is the Steel Pony. All their full hookup sites are sold out. They do have dry camping spaces available. They tend to be one of the cheaper campgrounds. For my full hookup, I think it's 25 by 50 or 55 foot site with 30 amp power, sewer and water. With sewer's a rarity at Motorcycle Rally. You don't see that very often. You'll see water and power. You don't see sewer all that much. With $600, it's a back-in site, which is fine. I drive a semi for a living. I can back in a trailer. You have tenting, of course, is an option, and all of these. The pass for the Steel Pony is $200. I did a look at on my budget spreadsheet that I'll get into for next time as to what the passes are at a lot of the major campgrounds. You've also got Kickstands has a really good reputation. In addition, they have live music a lot of times. Jasmine Kane played there a couple times during last year's rally. I had wanted to go, but Mother Nature kind of made that not happen, which kind of was a theme for last year's rally. Mother Nature got in the way a lot, including a day that was a complete washout, which is also something that doesn't happen at the Sturgis rally very often. Normally, yeah, you'll get afternoon storms, but you won't get a full washout. You also have other ones that have good reputations. There's a KOA out towards Rushmore. Yet again, expect to pay. You're on your own for transportation. If you want to go to Sturgis and see a concert, but you know, KOAs have good reputations for the most part. If you're there during the rally, I would expect the full hookup site there, if they even have any still available, is probably going to run you $1,000. Just that's what this is. You've got the Pappy Hoyle Campground, which is at the Full Throttle Saloon, which also has a really good reputation. From what I've heard, I've never been in there, but from what I've heard, it's also pretty tame. The Full Throttle does have acts that play there pretty much all the time they're open. There are bands. If you want to go to the Throttle before, I think, 5 or 6 o'clock, there is no cover, so you can show up. Have plenty of food vendors. Food and drink is reasonable during a rally. Yeah, you're going to spend $5 on a can of Coors or Bud Light or whatever your domestic poison is. Just expect that. Beer is going to be probably twice what you're used to paying at your local watering hole. This is just what this is, guys. You also have the Iron Horse. You have the Ride and Rest. All these have decent reputations. Never been there. All these I haven't even gone into. But check on the dirt if you don't know what that is. If you're going to RV it, you should know what the dirt is. It actually gives you a good list. It's kind of a Yelp for campgrounds. You can post your own reviews. If you have a good experience, do it. The dirt, that's DYRT. You can find it on the App Store for your Apple stuff and the Play Store if you've got a Google device. So just look for it. You can find it. Tenting, of course, is going to be significantly cheaper than RVing. If you're trying to do Sturgis on the cheap, you're going to be tenting it. You will find people offering the ability to put up. People who live in the Sturgis area will have people pitching tents on their property. So that is a thing. You may find people who are offering for, say, $200 for the length of the rally. You can put your tent up. They're normally going to have at least a porta potty. They'll at least have a couple porta potties. They probably are not going to have showers. They may or may not let you into their house. That's something you're going to have to look at when you go there. As to where you find that stuff, I don't know. Just Google it, I guess. There is either a Cabela's or a Bass Pro in Rapid, and I'm sure the Walmarts in Rapid and in Spearfish stock up on tents, sleeping bags, pillows, camp chairs. So if you're the kind of guy who wants to tent it, don't have the gear, are willing to buy it once, leave it, and and do that. People do that. They will leave it at your campground, and I'm sure that the campgrounds, like the Buffalo Chip, every year they put on their website the stuff that was left: tents, sleeping bags, camp chairs. There's all sorts of stuff that are left, including things that are not exactly the most friendly thing to put on a YouTube video, but hey, that's what it is. But for, say, $300, you can get a tent, sleeping bags, pillows, stuff like that, and just leave it. You're still ahead of what you're spending if you're staying in a hotel by a factor of probably 6 if you're staying for the entire length of the rally. So that's an option too. I'm going to try to post a video on this about every 2 weeks. I just figured it was important to do this first because, like I said, if you're going to tent, you're not going to have an RV space. You're not going to be worrying about putting fuel in a four-wheel vehicle for the most part. And that's the other thing. If you are going to truck your bike, and by that I mean you're going to load it in the back of a pickup truck or in the back of a cargo van or something like that, most of the campgrounds allow for one four-wheel vehicle access with no additional charge. If you bring a trailer, there's going to be like an extra $50 or $75 fee involved. Check their websites, and they pretty much all will have a loading ramp where you can get it out of the bed of the truck easily. If not, you know, it's a motorcycle rally. If you need help, there'll be plenty of people around that are going to be more than willing to help you balance it as you walk it down your loading ramp. And like I said, they'll all pretty much have set. Most of the major campgrounds are going to have loading ramps to help. You know, that'll be a nice, smooth, you know, kind of like a loading dock ramp you see it for a ground level place that does semi-trailers and stuff. You'll find stuff. They'll have it. When you check in, you can ask. I'm sure you'll find it. If not, you can find 5, 6, a dozen people to help get your bike out of the bed of the truck. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this one. Tenting's going to be cheaper. Hotels, you're going to spend. Your own RV, yeah, your site's going to run you for a back-end site with hookups. You're going to spend $7,000, $8,000, $1,000 possibly, depending on the size and what campground you're in. But it's still going to be cheaper than a hotel. You're going to have your own property. You're going to have your own shower. You're going to have your own bathroom in your own RV. The Buffalo Chip also does have rental RVs available, so if you want to go that way, that's an option. You're going to pay. I just looked this morning. I think the 2-week rental RV was like around $4,000. They say they sleep 4 people. I'm sure you could probably fit 6 in it if you wanted to, but I can't tell you what kind of RVs they have. They have some that are new-ish, you know, maybe leftover stock, maybe some 22s they'll have some used. But yeah, so I'm going to try, like I said, every 2 weeks or so to put one of these up. Hopefully that gets me through winter, because, yeah, as you can see, we've got some of the white stuff here in my neck of the woods. Raiding for the next 2 months or so isn't happening. Probably mid to late March is about when the weather starts breaking, where in the Chicago, northern Indiana area we can start getting the bikes out, which is cool because I got stuff I got to do to the bike. But yeah, put it down in the comments. How do you go? Are you a hotel guy? Are you an RV guy? Do you tent? Where do you tent? Are you the kind of guy that camps at one of the national or state parks campground, which are going to also be a little bit cheaper than the major campgrounds? Yeah, there's a ton of places you can stay. Just no matter how you do it, it's something that if you ride, you should do at least once. It's a good time. This will be my 2nd year going. I'm staying at Steel Pony, like I said. All their full hookup sites are gone. They may have a waiting list available if you want to do that. That might be an option. Contact them. I'm sure they have places on their website where you can. But yeah, like I said, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And comment how you stay. Are you a hotel guy? Are you an RV guy? Are you the kind of guy that's just going to pitch a tent and be done? Do you do Easy Camp or Camp Easy Ride, which are things where you literally just show up? There's another company service that has a tent ready for you when you show up. You leave and that's it. I think Camp Easy Ride sells 4-day packages, and I think we're right around $700-800. Easy Camp is, I believe, good for the whole length of the rally, and you just have to. I think that's around $800. Yet again, that's at the Buffalo Chip. Yet again, check their website. The Buffalo Chip still had RVs, power water sites available. I'm sure Glencoe does. Some of your smaller campgrounds are already starting to fill up. We're in the middle of January already. It's January the 7th. So yeah, If you're going, drop it down in the comments. Until next time, y'all be safe. Keep that shiny side up. That greasy side stays down, and we will catch you in a couple weeks. Later.